Hey everyone, welcome back to all my listeners. Happy New Year. This is episode 2 in season 14. Today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. My name is Sonal Patel, and this is the Paint the Medical Picture podcast series. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into my second episode of the new year. Now, you know, it's the second episode that features my Newsworthy OIG Work Plan updates, and it's going to feature the month of December 2024. And in my Trusty tip, I want to focus on the brand new shiny HCPCS code, G0545. And I'm going to go ahead and close out and round out today's episode with a remarkable quote on change for the brand new concept this month for Spark for 2025. It's going to feature Change by Deepak Chopra. Now, today's episode is sponsored by HCPro. HCPro is a leader in healthcare compliance and mid-revenue cycle training, offering solutions that enhance organizational performance through education, credentialing, and professional development. With over 30 years of experience, HCPro is the trusted education partner of the nation's leading health systems, top post-acute care facilities, critical access hospitals, regional health clinics, revenue cycle management, and healthcare BPO organizations. HCPro understands mid-revenue cycle training challenges and is committed to helping healthcare organizations fortify their teams to drive alignment, efficiency, compliance, and stronger reimbursements. HCPro's subject matter expertise includes CDI, coding, Medicare, revenue integrity, and compliance. HCPro's enterprise-wide solutions include all-inclusive instructor-led training. You can train your entire team all at once at your preferred location and even virtually. Specialty-focused online learning with over 800 courses that are readily available. You'll find exactly what you need, plus a whole lot more. Now, HCPro also has fast-paced boot camps, and those are designed to provide the maximum amount of training in the shortest time frame. These boot camps are offered in person and live virtually. And HCPro's flagship enterprise solution, Patel, is healthcare's premier all-inclusive enterprise-wide training and professional development solution. It is designed to drive top financial performance and compliance throughout the mid-revenue cycle. Contact HCPro to learn more about their enterprise solutions at 1-800-650-6787 or visit them on the World Wide Web at www.hcpro.com. All right, you guys, bear with me. I'm going to try and hit the mute button as often as I can while I'm coughing, so please bear with me. Now, let's go ahead and get into Newsworthy. Now, the month of December's OIG Work Plan updates. There are 3 updates to the OIG Work Plan for the month of December 2024. Now, the first is titled the Food and Drug Administration's Efforts to Oversee and Prevent Employee Conflicts of Interest. Now, this report is expected from the Office of Audit Services. The Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, is responsible for protecting the public health by ensuring the safety, efficacy, and security of human and veterinary drugs, biological products, and medical devices, as well as by ensuring the safety of our nation's food supply, cosmetics, and products that emit radiation. As federal employees, FDA workers are subject to the standards of ethical conduct for employees of the executive branch. FDA employees are also subject to additional requirements to assure that FDA's business is conducted effectively, objectively, and without improper influence or the appearance of improper influence. Employees must be persons of integrity and must observe high standards of honesty, impartiality, and behavior. Employees must not engage in any conduct prejudicial to the government and must avoid personal conflicts of interest with their public duties and responsibilities. OIG's objective is to determine whether FDA's ethics program complied with federal requirements to prevent, identify, and resolve potential conflicts of interest. Now, this final report is expected in fiscal year 2026. Now, the second OIG Work Plan update for the month of December 2024 is titled Audit of Medicare Part B Remote Patient Monitoring Services. Now, this report is expected from the Office of Audit Services. Medicare Part B remote patient monitoring, or RPM services, have the potential to significantly improve health outcomes but the services warrant additional oversight. RPM services involve the collection of patient physiologic data used to develop and manage a care plan related to a chronic and/or acute health illness or condition. For example, sensors that monitor temperature in a patient's extremities may help prevent diabetic ulcers that can lead to amputations. However, since 2018, the way that providers bill for certain Medicare Part B RPM services has changed significantly, and Medicare payments for those services have increased dramatically. RPM services are also susceptible to fraud, waste, and abuse, like unsolicited device shipments or inadequate monitoring, as well as inappropriate billing. Now, in November 2023, the OIG issued a consumer alert about a fraud scheme for RPM services. So OIG will determine whether providers furnished and billed for RPM services in accordance with Medicare requirements. This final report is expected in fiscal year 2026. Now, the third and final OIG Work Plan update for the month of December 2024 is titled Status of State Medicaid Provider Enrollment and Screening Activities. Now, this report is expected from the Office of Evaluation and Inspections. Provider enrollment screening is a key program integrity tool for protecting Medicaid against fraudulent and abusive providers. Federal law requires state Medicaid agencies to screen providers as part of the Medicaid enrollment process. For high-risk provider types, including durable medical equipment, prosthetics and orthotics, suppliers, and home health agencies, their required screening activities include site visits and fingerprint-based criminal background checks. Prior OIG work has identified issues with states' implementation of provider enrollment and screening requirements for both fee-for-service Medicaid and Medicaid managed care. During the COVID-19 public health emergency, CMS suspended certain screening requirements, which may have exacerbated the issues previously identified and presented new challenges. This particular study will determine the status of states' required Medicaid provider enrollment and screening and will assess states' standards and processes for screening. This final report is expected in fiscal year 2026. And now it's time for my best practice tips in Trusty Tip. There's a hot new code right up there with the infamous G2211. That new code is G0545, and it's for the inpatient or observation space. This new code for 2025 is defined as, quote, visit complexity inherent to hospital inpatient or observation care associated with a confirmed or suspected infectious disease by an infectious disease specialist, including disease transmission risk assessment and mitigation, public health investigation, analysis and testing, and complex antimicrobial therapy counseling and treatment. Add-on code lists separately in addition to hospital inpatient or observation evaluation and management visit, initial, same-day discharge, subsequent, or discharge. Now remember, this is used only by an infectious disease professional, right? That brand new code, G0545, it's only to be used by a specialty-specific professional, that infectious disease professional, who is trained to manage unique challenges inherent in infectious disease cases. Now, I looked this up as recently as the recording of this episode, and this new HCPCS code is valued nationally at $43 and a couple of cents for one RVU. So documentation, in my mind, should be reflecting the complexity of managing an infectious disease patient involving intricate decision-making, as well as risk management, including infection control, collaboration with public health agencies. You should also be personalizing it for any type of antimicrobial therapy management that you're providing and performing for that patient. Now note, just like HCPCS code G2211, this is an add-on code. So make sure that it's used along with its parent code, right? Those parent codes of inpatient or observation initial visits. And again, just like with G2211, CMS has indicated no new documentation requirements that must accompany the code. But again, in my mind, your documentation should definitely as a pro tip, it should definitely be reflecting the complexity of managing that particular infectious disease patient. And finally, I focus season 14 Spark on change. I want this 14th season Spark to be filled with our world's thought leaders, writers, artists, philosophers, everyone who inspires us with their insights and their wisdom on change. So in this week's inspiring quote in Spark is from Deepak Chopra. All great things are preceded by chaos. Absolutely true, right? Yeah, I think this quote is very fitting wise words to start off 2025's Spark. This quote reminds us that some of that crazy that we're experiencing may mean that we're in a period just before a huge transformation, a great change. I'm happy Deepak Chopra's Spark still burns brightly and inspires so many. All right, you guys, I wish you all an amazing start to a brand new year. I hope 2025 gives you all everything and everyone that you want in your life. Thank you so much for listening on today's episode, and I hope every week with me brings you closer to helping your providers paint a masterpiece. See you next Wednesday.